Hey everyone, it's Dave, and yeah, it's been a long time since I've shared anything on YouTube, and just looking really at the last live video I did, it was pretty much 5 years ago. But I am here again today, and hang on a second, I'm trying to make sure that my microphone is working as it should be. So bear with me for a second here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Um, Anyhow, just testing all of this. Yeah, I just came on today to share my thoughts. One, because I'm just trying to get to the point where I can just jump on and make videos and not be so up in my head about it, which has been like a super huge struggle for me ever since I started actually even trying to do videos on YouTube back in 2017. The whole being seen, fear of judgment, fear of rejection has been probably the defining issue in my life. And so today, I'm just continuing to chip away at it. Um, and I think one of the ways that helps me is to just go live, right? Uh, Kind of like the less preparation right now, at least, the better. That way, I don't have time to overthink it. I don't have time to um, get into a perfectionistic um, state of mind. You know, all of that stuff will come later as I get over my fears and hesitations, right, to take action. Because honestly, that's what life is all about. Life, like literally, the secret to life is to just take action. Just do something. Just do something, and just you don't have to be reckless, but just take steps forward. And as you take steps forward, the way becomes more clear. um, if you don't know what you're doing, just do something, and you'll start to get an understanding of what you're doing. You'll start to see a path forward. If you're not skilled at what you're doing, just start doing it. If you have a lot of fear like I do around failure and judgment and things like that, or not even failure, but just perceived failure, perceived judgment, all of that kind of stuff, the fear of those things, then just keep doing it. um, I have so many examples in my life where I had started something, maybe something new for my work that I'd never done before, and I was scared to death of it. But I kind of, because it was work and it was part of my job, I wasn't really given a choice to waffle. I had to do it if I wanted to, keep working and keep getting paid. And so I did it. But then every single time, eventually, I gained confidence and eventual mastery over whatever it was. And then I would look back and think, gosh, why was I ever nervous about that in the first place? So this has been extremely difficult to move through, because there's no one here pushing me except myself. Um, so I've had to really struggle with this for a long time, even to just get to doing the videos that I've done on my channel. And so one of my hopes in doing this is, if anybody watches any of my videos and my example just helps them move through those kinds of fears more quickly, that would be great. I would love that, because it's been it's felt so awful to just sit in this frozen state of life as the years peel by, that I don't wish that upon anyone. And if I my anything I do or share with the world can help other people move through that more quickly, then I will feel, like I've done something good in this world. Um, I'll be happy by that. So yeah, I just the this is June 20th of 2025, and wow, there's just been a lot of stuff going on. A lot of It seems like a lot of like a big chapter ending kind of stuff. Just to kind of go over the all the big astrological movements. And if you don't believe in astrology, that's okay. I'm going to talk about it anyway. But just the stuff like the North Node has moved into Pisces on January 11th of this year. And the North Node kind of gives us our general direction of what we're supposed to be focusing on. Pisces is really, it's a really complex, not easy to understand sign. It really is about kind of that unity energy. It's the very end of the astrological journey, where the kind of your inner masculine and feminine come together. Your analytical mind and your intuitive self merge into a harmonious union. It also represents that unity, not only unity consciousness, but unity energy. It's that space of the, where the Akashic records live. It's that space of anything's possible. And so that's why it often gets labeled as, the area of your dreams, but also delusions. And I don't really like how people talk about that, delusions. Possibilities are possibilities, but it's up to us to make them real. And so it's not the energy, the Pisces energy's fault that we don't take the steps needed to make those things real. Or even if we do take the steps to make those possibilities real, fail to realize when the environment's not right for that. And focus in a different direction, right? We're the ones responsible for seeing an opportunity, seeing a possibility, taking the steps needed to try and bring that into our lives, and then also noticing when the conditions aren't right. Maybe we're in the wrong place, maybe it's the wrong time, who knows what. But that's what feedback is all about. Feedback is just we attempt to do something and we see what the results are, and we go from there, right? And ignoring those results, that's when we become delusional. Not the energy of Pisces, right? Pluto was in Capricorn for, I guess, 18 plus years. And Capricorn is really all about believing in who you are is the way to create abundance in life, not who you think you should be, not who society thinks you should be, not who your parents want you to be, or any of those things. It's really, knowing who you are and believing in that. Weird Al Yankovic is a great example of this. That guy believed in who he was, and he went on to great success because of that. Even when nobody could have ever seen that success when he started back in the 70s. Nobody could have ever dreamed that he would have been able to create that kind of success in his life. But it's all the fears around, like, gosh, can I really be me? And we all had that thing when we were kids and we were excited about something, and some adults said, well, you could never make money doing that. And then we believed them, instead of having faith in what excites us. That's Capricorn. Well, it's moved out of Capricorn and it's moved into Aquarius, right? And Aquarius is that space of using your greater awareness to create discernment in your life, right? It's kind of being the observer, thinking outside the box. It's yeah, and so I think this is an interesting time because it comes right on the heels of the proliferation of AI, and in a time where we're being challenged to connect with our higher awareness, we're also being given a tool that says, here, this tool can do all of this for you. You don't need to try and expand your ability to think outside the box. This tool will do it for you. And I'm not going to totally bash AI. A tool is a tool. It's neither good nor bad. It really just depends on how we decide to use it. And ever since fire, ever since we invented fire, right? Fire has transformed the lives of everyone here on Earth, and is the basis for all of our technology that we have today. But it can also burn everything to the ground. So it's every tool is just, we get the tool, then we have to figure out the proper uses for it. And along the way, we're gonna stumble into the improper uses for it. And I know we're all feeling that with smartphones. Smartphones are great tools, but they can also be, just weapons of mass distraction, right? They can just distract us from our lives and really get us hooked on that constant dopamine tick, doom scrolling and all of that kind of stuff. Always being on, always being available, never really having private time, that kind of thing, right? So these are just tools, and we've got to figure out how to use them. I think for me personally, I think AI is great at you give it a big data set and ask it to correlate all that data. I think it'd be great at that. But asking it to write your paper for you, I think, is a mistake because it doesn't have your voice. Only you have your voice, and you're supposed to use your voice. That paper you write may not be, grammatically perfect, or it may not even be what's considered, the best style of writing to reach a certain audience. But it's your voice, and it's going to come out in the way that it comes out in order to reach the people it's supposed to reach. And one of the things that the director Kevin Smith once said is that your only true currency in life is your voice. And I firmly believe that. I really, really do. And the more I use my voice, the more I believe that. So yeah. These are some big things coming up. And then Saturn and Neptune both moved into Aries and became conjunct in April. And that's huge. Saturn, everyone says Saturn's about time. Well, Saturn's not about time. That's people mistaking Saturn, the mistaking that the Greek equivalent to Saturn is Chronos with a CHRO. That's where we get chronometer and things like that. That's time. It's actually Cronus, Cronus. Cronus was the father of Zeus and all the other gods. And but Saturn does have to do with limitations, not in a punitive way, not as a form of a punishment or anything like that, but more as a form of definition, creating. Saturn in terms of creating a container for what you're trying to do, container for who you are. Um, Containers are really important. Um, and we need them. We need them. If we didn't have containers, we, you know, we wouldn't, objects wouldn't exist, right? And so, we have containers for our thoughts. We have containers for our energy. We have discipline and focus and all of that. And that's what Saturn represents. I personally feel that when the story of like Zeus or Jupiter escaped, from Saturn, and broke out and freed all of the other gods and goddesses, all of his other, brothers and sisters from that container. It's always portrayed in a way that they were imprisoned, and them breaking out was this really glorious thing. But I kind of view it from the sense of psychology, where Saturn represented the integrated self, and that Jupiter and Mars or Aries and Venus and all of these other gods and goddesses represent the aspects, the individual aspects of the self. And when they escaped, you have this kind of splintering of the self. And they go out, and if you really read all of the Greek stories about the gods and the goddesses, it's pretty chaotic. I mean, Zeus / Jupiter is not a great guy. He's a philanderer. He's constantly cheating on his wife, having sex with all these women, raping them, seducing them, raping them. He's very impetuous. He is petty. He punishes people. He kills people. He's basically kind of like the narcissistic sociopath, right? That just goes out and does whatever the hell he wants, and he doesn't care who gets hurt or whatever. And so that's why Jupiter's all about expansion, because he's just kind of running wild, right? And so but it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Whenever we grow, whenever we have personal growth, it's necessary that our previous container that we had for ourselves gets broken, right? That's the tower moment. And we form something new, right? We create a new version of ourselves. We create a new persona of ourselves. So we're not supposed to be stuck the way we are forever. But when, when this container is broken and all these different aspects of ourselves kind of rush out, they're not supposed to stay out forever either, right? It's that process of the mold gets broken, and everything pours out, but then in order to create a new version of ourselves and then recreate that container, to reintegrate all those aspects of ourselves into that new container, so that we can then move on to the next part of our story. Yeah. And so Saturn, which is all about creating that container, moves into Aries, which is all about taking action on behalf of yourself, right? Aries is really, everyone thinks it's about taking action. It's really about taking action on behalf of yourself. That's why it's the Emperor. The Emperor does not go out and expend a lot of energy on the country next to him to help them, out. The Emperor it, it expends energy on his empire, building his empire, right? And then we are each our own small little empire that we need to care for, right? And so it really does call to us to, in this point, to recreate that new container for ourselves and reintegrate all those different aspects of ourselves that either we weren't really in contact with before and we didn't know well, or maybe parts of us that we needed to let run wild for a little bit, to just see where our boundaries are. I mean, you never know what a personal boundary is until you cross it several times. And when you do cross it, it's usually painful and it usually doesn't have good results. But once you've done that a couple times, you have a solid idea of what that boundary is. And you can create that container for yourself. And Neptune really is, it is about the new potentials, the new possibilities, what can be. So it's a very, very powerful time, but it's also a very disruptive time worldwide, right? And then Jupiter, of course, moved into Cancer on June 9th. And Jupiter is all about kind of wild, crazy expansion. And a lot of times that is, it certainly is liberating, and it gets us into new ways of seeing ourselves, seeing the world, thinking about things, possibilities, but also, crossing those boundaries and saying, oof, don't do that again. Don't touch that hot stove. And Cancer is, they say it's about the home. It's really about you are the container for your soul. Your body is the home, the house for your soul. And it's about expansion of who you are. So this really plays well into, Saturn and Aries, right? Jupiter and Cancer is to really find new ways to love you exactly the way you are. So no, I'll do this when I get better, or I'll start this when I have more money, or I'll start dating when I get in better shape, or any of that kind of stuff. It's just say, who am I? Who am I right now? And just love who you are, just the way you are right now. Just love it. And that's where we're really being pushed to just love ourselves just the way we are, not the way we wish we would be. Not, don't wait to start loving yourself when you reach a goal, but like right now, right? And then, of course, the solstice is tomorrow, and that moves us into Cancer season. And so, a lot of stuff is coming up. I mean, I've had a lot of things transpiring in my life, a lot of chapters ending. People that I've been associated with, things kind of coming to a close. My favorite store on spirituality closed last month, and I just found out yesterday, the same day that I found out that somebody I met early on in my journey here, and back in 2017, 2018, and who I have fond memories of, that they died. I just found out yesterday that they just recently passed away. This is a total shock to me. Apparently they were struggling with cancer for the last couple of years, and I didn't know. We didn't talk to each other in a while, and not for any bad reason or anything, just kind of had started going in different directions. But it just came to a real kind of a blow of, wow, like, this really does feel like the closing of a chapter. And I don't know if anybody else is feeling that. But it hit me so hard, all of these different things going on, that I thought, well, now's the time to just get on and share these thoughts with everyone. So I know later on, if feel free to share your experiences in the comments below. And honestly, I kind of wanted to just express all of this, just to get on and share it. No grand design or anything like that. So I think that's it for today. And I hope you all have a really good day and a really good month ahead. And if you are feeling all the energies, just know that, things are really topsy-turvy right now, and that's okay, because it's just change, it's just transition, and it'll pass, and things will get better, and nothing ever stays crazy forever. It always gets better, and just when you're hoping that things would stay great, then more changes happen, but that always opens us up to new opportunities, new possibilities. So try to always ride those turbulent times out, knowing that it's just momentary and that it's going to pass. So, all right, well, have a great day, and I'll be on again. I'm really dedicating myself to just get on and just be me and get over this fear of being seen and my fear of failure and rejection. So, because that's all it is. It's just this imaginary what if that doesn't really exist. And if it does, I mean, worst case scenario, like I do a whole bunch of videos and they don't really land. Okay, I tried them. At least now I know. At least now I'm not sitting around twiddling my thumbs, wondering. So take care. Have a good day. Be safe and know that you are loved.